Previously on Camp Survivor, the remaining 4 contestants were put through a grueling endurance challenge, testing their tired bodies to the limit. Sean and Vivian battled it out until Sean could hang on no longer, giving Vivian her first individual immunity win.
You are safe from the vote, guaranteeing you a spot in the final 3.
Mitchell knew he was a major threat.
If I were any of those 3, I wouldn't let me get to the final 3. I wouldn't let me at all near the final 2.
But was trusting Tom to vote with him at the next tribal council.
I want to go with Tom to the final 2 because I'm pretty sure I can beat him.
At tribal, Sean and Vivian stuck with the plan to vote out Mitchell, but Tom blindsided them by using his idol to save Mitchell.
Ninth player voted out of Survivor, Sean.
Sending Sean to the jury instead.
Sean, yes, the biggest threat. Tribe has spoken.
3 are left. Who will be voted out next?
Alright, bring it in for the last song, guys.
Where's the jury?
The jury is not watching this final song.
Okay.
So, Vivian, first things first. Once again, finally, immunity is back up for grabs for the last time. The premise of this challenge is very simple. All you must do is on one foot balance on that pole for the longest. The choice of foot is totally up to you. Alright, you're one step away from immunity. Shot the final 2, you're locked in for the final 2. You also get to pick who you take to that final 2. You guys ready? Alright, I'll draw for spots and we'll get started. Alright, take your positions, I'll count you in. 5,
What if I decide I want to take my shoes
4, 3, 2, 1. This challenge is now live. You're fighting for a spot. The final 2. Decide who you take with you. Wind will not make this easy. Tom waving his arms around wildly. It's all down to how long you can balance and then how long you can manage the pain once you're balanced.
It's the wind. You can't find the proper
Mitchell rocking.
spot to be balanced in.
Lots of movement. If your foot touches the pole, your other foot, you are out. Mitchell, big movement. Those legs, how are they holding up? Going through cramp.
My cramps earlier.
Vivian
Really
starting to wobble. She brings it back. Mitchell, big movement. Really rock the floor. Trying to find a comfortable position. Interesting choice. Tom's in shoes. Mitchell and Vivian not. Big rocks from both boys.
I feel like this is a girl sort of challenge anyway. This is a challenge, like.
This is the only girls who have won an individual immunity challenge. All others were won by guys. Tom is out of the challenge. It is down to Vivian and Mitchell. One of them is guaranteeing their spot on the final two. They will get to plead their case in front of the jury. The other one is at the mercy of that person, hoping that they get taken through. Mitchell falls off. Vivian wins individual immunity for the second time in a row.
Where's your
and the
cup
final
with that?
time
Seriously, mine was on
guaranteeing you
fire.
a spot in the final two.
So much.
Well done. You guys are great.
Vivian, congratulations. You are safe from the boat. We are heading straight back to Tribal Council, where the jury will be. Vivian, there, you will be making the decision who you take into the final two. Because you guys will not be able to vote, as you would only vote for each other.
We don't get asked to vote for each other.
We are heading straight there.
Alright, we come our final three.
Yes, Vivian, you got it.
Come on in, guys. Vivian winning individual immunity for the final time. Each of the challenges that they were standing on poles suspended to the spot above the ground on 1 foot balancing. Vivian outlasted both Mitchell and Tom on falling out first, Mitchell next. Vivian lasting the longest. Congratulations, Vivian. So, at this point in the game, your vote is the only vote that counts. Because Tom and Mitchell cannot vote for you, they have to vote for each other. Therefore, your vote is the deciding vote. You'll be the only person voting. Before we do vote, Mitchell and Tom, you get a chance to plead your case of why Vivian should take you to the final two. So Tom, we'll start with you.
So, Viv, I reckon you should take to the final two because, like, we're on the same team together. We've been blackers from the start, and yeah, I just feel like I would like to go to the final two. Yeah, it's difficult for me to give a good reason. I'm gonna be honest, but it's up to you. It's your choice. Like, whether you want to take Mitch or I don't feel like I can say anything to change whatever you've decided.
If you decided. Mitchell, why should Vivian take you to the final two?
I mean, that sort of decision can be really hard. So, I would say I invested so much in this game, and I told you earlier, like I was inviting so many people. I invited Tom to come, for example, and it means a lot to me that I even get to be here. But like, I feel like we are somewhat evenly put together, evenly placed. We sit side by side at the final two, and so I think that's fair, and that's a good challenge. And I think Tom just has such a good sort of story arc of like we've seen him go to redemption and then come back and fought for that, and he integrated himself back in with people. He's done so well at all of that, and I think that makes him kind of dangerous for you to take. But yeah, as Tom said, it's up to you. It's your decision. Yeah, story arc, I don't know, like if we watch this back on the DVD, I would be impressed by what.
Yeah, if I could say my thing again, if I have a good story arc, you should choose me. To make up for voting me out in the first tribal council. The other thing is, we've worked together, whereas Viv and I have worked together, whereas she voted you out, which like you haven't worked together. I don't think you guys have really talked about any votes that much. We have the lackers.
It's like I was coming up to Viv and asking me where she was at.
So Vivian, the choice is yours. It's not just based on personality or stories or anything. It has to be based on your vote, on who you think you want to sit next to. Because once you vote, the person who you vote will be sitting opposite you, and both of you will plead your case to the jury. This jury then decides your fate. They can question you, they can find out who they think played the game best, and then they will be the ones deciding who goes home, the title of sole survivor, and $100 gift card. Decision is yours. It's time to vote. Alright, I'll go get the vote. Alright, I'll leave the vote. Tenth player voted out of Camp Survivor, and 7th member of our jury, Mitch.
I'm so sorry.
Mitch, you need to bring me a torch. Mitchell? Try to smoke it.
I'm so sorry.
Right, nothing in this game is an easy decision. Either way, it was going to be tough. You guys now have 5 minutes to go away back to camp. Come up with how you're going to present your defence to the jury. Explain why you deserve the title of sole survivor.
I think I did everything I could. I have fought really hard to get here. I've backstabbed and I've lied many times, and I've hunted for idols, and I found an idol that wasn't an idol. I did everything I could up until that last challenge where I feel like a girl was going to win it anyway. So well done to Viv. I think she's played really well, and well done to Tom, because I think he's played really well also. I think I'm really disappointed I wasn't able to make it to the final 2, but I'm really glad that I got to get to final 3.
Alright, come on in, take a seat. Welcome to the final council. Right, congratulations on making it this far. So here's how it's going to work. Each of you will take a turn making a statement, explaining how you played the game, the moves you made, why you deserve to be the sole survivor. Then each of the jury will take a turn coming up and addressing it. They can ask each of you a question. It can be the same question for both, or a different question. You can answer it however you want. How you answer the question could directly impact who walks away with the title. Alright, we're ready to do this. Tom, you're up first.
Okay, so I'm just going to put out there, I've never watched a complete episode of Survivor. So all I had to go off was what people told me and Toby's very good description on the page. So I did get off to a bit of a rocky start in the first tribal council, one way of putting it, but I spent some time on Redemption Island. I was able to make friends with the stick. And when I came back, I was able to get back on a team, and I feel like I've done really well. Like I bonded with the Lacus team from the get-go before I got off on my tribal council, and then like I feel like as soon as I got back, like there wasn't that many hard feelings at all. Like I got over any hard feelings I had, I got over pretty quickly, and I was back on that team, and I've really had that team spirit going. Yeah, I feel like I led the Lacus team I helped lead the Lacus team to a few victories, and which kept us from voting each other out. That was good. And then a switch. Yeah, I feel like Dylan and I, we bonded well with Sean and Sarah on the new green team, the Green Machine. That was good. I did find the immunity idol, I believe. I'm the only person to have used an immunity idol. I don't know if I'm the only person to find one. But I did keep that from like while I was still on the Lacus team. And then I've been keeping that for a long time. You saw me use it for Mitch. So I was wondering how to use that. And I wanted, like, my first preference would always be to get the votes so that I don't receive any votes, rather than having to be unsure when I'm going to receive votes and then use the immunity. And probably the play that I'm most proud of in the game is with that giving the immunity out to Mitch, because so Mitch and I on the poll challenge, the sandbag poll challenge, Mitch and I had said that whoever didn't have immunity we were going to vote for, so that ended up being Sean. So I knew that Mitch was going to vote for Sean because I kept track of the team, which none of them went off and did private discussions without me. And then while Mitch was off, Sean and Viv and I agreed to vote for Mitch. So that means I knew Sean and Viv would vote for Mitch. And so if I cast my vote for Sean, it would be a tie and I would be able to give my immunity to whoever I wanted to stay in. So I was pretty proud of how I played that situation. And I chose Mitch to stay in because I felt like it would be less of a threat in the last challenge. It turns out the last challenge was Vivian's ballpark right down the river. And so Viv, congratulations on getting that, and thank you for choosing me to face you off against a jury.
Alright, Vivian, it's over to you to make your statement.
First of all, I just want to say I'm very surprised that I actually made it this far. I did not expect to be the one sitting here on this seat trying to explain to you. I must admit my gameplay for this whole time has been to be a team player. I've tried to really look after the team when it comes to how they've been going, encouraging them when they're in challenges, even doing warm-up exercises beforehand. I've really felt like I'm someone who wants to encourage people and encourage that unity within the team. And so I must admit that's what I've focused on in this game, is trying to keep the unity. I have found it rather difficult in this game because we've had to be slightly strategic and you need to choose partnerships with certain people. And I've tried to be honourable with the partnerships that I've made, even though given the nature of the game I may have broken some partnerships every now and then. I have tried my very best to keep as truthful as I can through this game. I think everyone here has done an amazing job, and every single one of you actually has proven yourself worthy to sit on this chair. And so it feels a little bit selfish to be sitting here and trying to convince you that I'm the one who should be here. The main argument that I can say to why I deserve to be here, or the reason why I'm here, I think, is just that I've tried to look at the team as a whole. I've tried to play with other people's strengths and encourage them along the way, and that has made me someone who people see as good to have around, because that's what I try to do. And I'm not very good at explaining myself. So as for the journey, I've really enjoyed the Lacus team people. It's nice to see Megan and Tom.
I'm a Lacus team person.
Yeah, you were like, well, you were at the
So
start.
that's
It was lovely having, it was lovely having Mitch and Ebony join us. I'm sorry you guys didn't stay around. Well, Ebony, I'm sorry you didn't stay around very well because you're awesome. And I really, really enjoyed the people here that were able to have that merge. It was really awesome to be able to get to know each other and to be able to see you work through those challenges. Some of you did such an amazing job, like Mitch with that memory thing, top notch. And Dylan, your stick, I don't know how you managed to do it, but it was so steady, I couldn't believe it. So you guys have, each of you sitting there has proven yourself worthy of really being a survivor. And I think when it comes down to it, you're the real heroes. It's not me. Yeah.
All right.
Sorry. Yeah.
Now the power passes to the jury. You guys have heard their opening statements. Now it's up to you guys to ask them questions to determine who you think is worthy of the title of Sole Survivor. Make sure you've landed all the details of these questions, because afterwards you guys are going to vote the final time to determine who wins. Brianna, you're up.
Firstly, guys, great job for getting this far. Yeah, you've done a really good job with the whole game, and it's very impressive. First question is for Tom. So you have said throughout the game and most of the time that you are for the team as a whole, and that you stick with the team and you've been loyal to the team. But when you went to the other team, you pretty easily got in with them and didn't worry about the Lackers so much. And when you came back, you got intertwined into them again. Like, I'm not exactly sure where your loyalty was lying. Like, as in, if you were actually thinking of your team and actually creating loyalties, or just latching on to whoever you thought was going to get you the furthest.
Okay.
What are your thoughts on that?
I wasn't latching on to whoever I thought I was going to go to first. I just wanted, I am a team player, but again, like, I knew when I switched teams, I didn't have any say in that. Like, I thought I wouldn't gain anything from being being walled up against my current team, like my new team, which was the green team. So I felt like when I was in a team, I wanted to be part of a team because I know the advantage of playing as a team. Like, it's definitely really good. But I didn't want to lose that advantage just because I'd been forced to switch teams. So I wanted to keep up that team spirit, even though it was with different people.
And Vivian? Firstly, I've always, like, it was great having you on the team. You're always super encouraging to everyone, really supportive, great to have around, as you said. And I know you never voted against me, so that's nice. But in terms of making big moves in the game and actually having some sort of strategy that you were making big things happen and really thinking about how you were going to play the game, do you think there was much of that, or do you think a lot of it was the fact that people were happy for you to stay around because you were a nice person and you did really good in challenges, and people were just sort of not seeing you as so much of a threat that they were happy for you to stay along? Or did you make moves and did you have strategies to get yourself into this position?
I did have strategies. I tried to keep them very close to my chest. So I was someone who I tried to keep a very blank face when it came to conversations with different people. And often what my strategy would be is I would walk around, figure out what everyone else is thinking and go from there. I usually would wait for the opportune moment to say something, and what I'd say would be very carefully planned to point people in the direction that I want them to go.
First of all, just congrats on getting this far. You surely deserve it more than everyone else sitting here on the jury and out. That's been proven by so far in the challenge. And first question for Tom, you said you were like trying to do what's best for the team. Was that your strategy, like your gameplay strategy the whole time, or were you like, yeah, what was your strategy if it wasn't that?
I guess I took, in terms of a general strategy, I didn't have one. I did take each tribal as it comes. Like, I wasn't strategizing too much. Like, I wasn't strategizing a lot in advance of when I would become, like, in advance of challenges, but only after a challenge, if I did lose, or if my team did lose, that would be when I'd start my strategizing for that. But I wouldn't say I had probably my overarching thing during the team time was just get the team together, make sure that we can win the challenge, because if your team wins a challenge, then you don't have to worry about the harder thing, which is choosing who to vote out. And after the merge, my strategy was, it was more sort of thinking, who could I vote out? But again, I couldn't think too much about that because like I might think I'm going to vote someone out, and then that person wins it. What if that person wins the necklace? I've got to think of a new person, so I just wait until I see who wins the necklace and then start strategizing from there.
So with Viv. So it seems to me that what you're trying to say to us is that your strategy was kind of just to find out what everyone else is doing, which worked well for me at the start because it meant that you kind of do what I would suggest. But then at some point you got really wishy-washy, and it meant that I really didn't want to work with you anymore because you'd just not reply to what I was saying and not want to go and strategize. And a lot of the jury members have felt kind of the same. So I'm wondering, like, was that in itself a strategy, and how else did you get yourself here?
That's a really good question. Look, it was part of my strategy. I did try to make sure that I wasn't giving too much away, and I tried not to be too confirming when it came to strategizing, and that was because I was reading the field of the whole play. I didn't try to necessarily form alliances with particular people and stick really close with them. Instead, I tried to form a couple of different alliances along the way and see what everyone else is up to so that I could be the voice behind the scenes actually orchestrating it. I prefer to be someone who leads from behind. It's not really like right up in everyone's face because I was trying to stay underneath the scenes. And that, so I suppose I'm sorry for some of you if you thought I was being a bit wish-washy. It was partially because I was trying to weigh up which way I wanted to move and which way would actually be most beneficial for me. And I also didn't want to go back on my word, so I wouldn't try very hard not to say that I was going to do something if I wasn't actually planning on it. But I was open to hearing what different people were saying towards me. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like I was trying to plan my own game using the friendships I had, but not necessarily keeping really strong alliances, but more thinking of how I could use it for my advantage.
Yeah, I definitely respect your social game. I think maybe Tom was a little bit more strategic, but there are things that I need clearing up. Yeah, obviously something went wrong the first vote because we voted you out. So I want to know what you learnt from that and how you came back from that to like what you learnt and how you applied that for the rest of the game.
Okay. First of all, just specifically, I like to say in the vote we got out, I was part of an alliance to vote for you, and I changed my mind in the voting booth, and I was the only other person who didn't vote for you. I just like to say that so you know. In terms of my experience being voted out, I definitely did not see it coming. Like I've never watched Survivor before, but I thought I did have a bit to contribute to the Lackers team, so I thought I would want to be kept on for team challenges, and it came as a big surprise when I was voted out. I spent my time on Redemption Island seeking for like a totem or something, because I thought if I found an idol, I'd be able to get back in. When I came back in, probably one thing I learned was never assume that I'm not going to be voted out. Because I found the immunity pretty soon, after, like a couple of challenges after that. But like I had to make so sure that I wasn't going to be receiving votes like in the tribal. Otherwise, I would have wanted to use that immunity. So it made me, that experience said never assume that you're not going to be voted out. Be extra sure, like you know as much as possible how everyone is going to vote.
Vivian, why do you feel Tom should win?
Look, I think Tom has done a really good, smart game. I think he's been quite strategic. I wouldn't say it would be a bad decision to vote for Tom to be the survivor, because I think he has done a good job. He's been solid in the challenges. He's been good when it comes to making friends with people, and yet also reading the play to see what's the best move to say. So he's...
So my first question's for you, Tom. I'm just thinking of this game when you've had sort of like three teams, if you like, starting with the Lacks and then to Bay and then the merged team together. And I get that alliances aren't forever, you can't always stay with the people that you're originally like, yes. But so I'm just wondering if you can spell out for me who your alliances were as you went through. So you know, like who did you first connect with in your first tribe, and who was it in the next tribe, and then when you merged or like even got smaller, you know, who were your go-to people?
Okay. Well, I reckon from the start, Dylan, Alex, and I did have a bit of an alliance because the Lackers, like we were a very good team in Lackers, but it's just like I found the girls had a bit of a discussion, and then like Dylan, Alex and I were left out. So that was the first discussion. And the Lackers team, like after I came back onto the Lackers team, I was just all within the Lackers. And then again, I feel like I was sort of in the team stage of the game. I was just swayed by the team I was in. Like I wanted to. I felt like being part of a team, I didn't want to keep up an alliance with someone in the other team. Like I wanted to be all for the team I was in. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And then after the merge, I had a bit of an alliance going with Mitch, like for the last few challenges. I probably, if I had have won the final challenge, probably would have chosen Mitch. Sorry, Viv. But alas, that didn't happen. So,
sure.
Yeah. Probably throughout the individual it would have been Mitch was my alliance.
No. And Viv, just the thought that sort of came to my mind when I was hearing you answer one of the other questions was that you could almost be like a puppet master. Do you know, if you're sort of listening to everyone's opinions and then figuring out what the good in for you is by sort of listening first and then acting in through that, or seeing who you could sort of move over to vote for who you want, sort of like what you were saying before. Can you tell me of a time or the move, you know, that you were really proud of, something that you orchestrated that you were really proud of?
I feel really bad to say this though, because I don't like voting people out. But I liked the move for me voted Ebony out. Sorry, Ebony, I love you. You're great.
But strategically, tell us about
that was one I was actually originally really afraid that I was going to get voted off, and it was a weird one where everyone was throwing up like every single name in the book, and so I tried to strategically choose Ebony because I felt like if I did that, we'd still have Bree and Liz and would be able to still keep our alliance going.
Congratulations, guys. Well played, both of you. Especially Tom. I appreciated that very clever move. It made me smile. First question for you. You mentioned that most of the time you were honest and you tried to hold to your word.
Yeah.
Was there one particular time where you didn't?
Yes.
For your own purposes?
Yes.
Can we please hear?
I'm really sorry. I had agreed to join an alliance with Dylan and Tom to vote Mitch out, sorry. And I reneged on that and voted Dylan out, and I'm really sorry about that. I felt so bad. Yes. So I haven't always been honest. Sometimes I have changed. And it was partially because I had said yes to 2 people and I had to choose which party I was going to renege in. And I decided in the long run that I wanted to remain in the group that had voted Dylan out rather than realise, But that was one move where I reneged on my word, and I'm really sorry, guys. I felt bad.
Strategic.
Oh. Yeah.
You had targets from the very get-go, I believe.
Yes.
Yes. How did you find working with those targets, and how did you use your alliances to get?
Are you referring to a specific target?
Potentially. But you probably had a couple. But
I found, I'm going to address you personally, Sean. I found that when I only saw you at the challenges, you were very competitive and a very big threat, and you were, like, even before we started Lima Planking, you identified as the #1 threat. So while we were in separate teams, there wasn't really anything I could do about that. It was up to your team to vote you out. But I was thinking, like, if I get a chance to vote out Sean, I will, because he's a big threat. But then, like, it was I don't know if this was strategic or it's just who you are, but while we were in the debate team, like, you're just such a genuine guy. Like, you're saying you're not in it to win it, you're just in it to have fun with the challenges, and I guess you won me over, and if that was strategy, good on you. But if that's just who you are, then well done, you're a great guy.
And the alliances to get to where you are?
Sorry?
The alliances you used to get to where you are.
The alliances I used to get to where I am.
For getting rid of those.
For getting rid of those targets. Well, getting rid of you was very much an individual thing. Like, even Mitch didn't know that I was gonna give him that immunity thing. It was like I made the choice between, because you and Mitch, I knew both you and Mitch had 2 votes, and I just decided Mitch would be less of a threat, because I know, like, you are a great guy, but when it comes down to it, you're also very good at challenges.
I have heard so much of what you guys have said about your games now and how that related to these other people. You've actually talked about me a number of times each, actually, and that's been good to know. I'm actually really impressed by some of the things you've said. So, Tom, for example, the thing I'm most impressed about your game is that you told Viv and Sean to vote me out. That is the thing that actually tells me that you knew what you were doing. And again, Viv, I'm actually impressed about the way you said you were holding your cards close to your chest and you were kind of wanting to hear lots of different pieces of information and then come through on top from that. What worries me about your games, both of you, is that Viv, you've come to the end and you've done a lot to get here, potentially. I'm actually still not really convinced, but you've gotten here and you're starting to say, oh, I don't really know if I didn't expect this, and I'd understand if you voted for Tom because he's done amazingly, all these sorts of things, and it makes me question whether you even really want to win. Can you answer that?
Yes, I can. Look, I want to win. I'm just saying that from my own, I didn't think that I was a very strong player, and I wasn't 100% convinced that my strategy was going to work. Because I realised that it does put you in a vulnerable position when you're actually trying to lead from behind, because you're relying on people actually following what you're doing and what you're telling them to do. When it comes to if I want to win or not, yes, I do want to win, and my whole plan has been to come together and to do this in this way. And I'm very, I am overwhelmed and very excited the fact that I've got here. I'm just saying that I appreciate how hard everyone else has worked, and I find it really hard to put myself on a pedestal above everyone else and say that I'm better than them. I don't want to say that I'm better than them. I'm not better than any of you, but I am very honoured at the fact that I'm here, and I definitely would like to win. And I think I have worked hard during the games with the challenges, trying to keep the team together, with the individual ones really trying to keep the focus going, and with afterwards of trying to actually figure out where everyone's, what are people thinking, who are the people who are being a little bit crafty and who might be lying to you, and who are the people who are actually being truthful, who are the people I could trust, and who are the people I could bend to my will. I know that sounds really weird, but that was literally what I was thinking.
Me then is that you started in your opening statement saying that you were a team player, and you said throughout the game that you were a team. It was about friendships, it was about who you could work with and just stepping back. But then you're talking about manipulating and taking an active step and talking people into things. They're different things, and you can't be both. And if you are, how did you balance that?
Okay, that's really
give an example, please.
Okay, look, I see myself as a team player as I like to encourage people. I want to make sure that they're feeling okay and they're not disheartened. So, when it comes to emotional and physical way, I tried to keep track of the team and see how they're going and give encouragement where I felt like it was due or where it was needed in some sense. So in that sense, I was trying to look after the team, and I'm a team player. When it comes to the manipulation, that has got to do with the fact that this is a game where there's only one winner at the end of the game. And regardless of all of the work that you do in trying to keep a good team together, especially in the team challenges, you have to work together for those. But despite the teamwork that you've got to do there, at the end of the day, you still have to vote someone out. There's still all of the strategy that's going behind the scenes. And so what I preferred to do is do my own little thing behind the scenes, because I felt that was more honest than betraying one person after the other, after the other, after the other. Does that make sense? That's why, and I felt that was more honourable, and that's more playing part of the team, because in some ways I'm not actually working, I'm not discouraging people, I'm not dishonouring them, I'm not going back on my word with them, I'm still sticking with the friendships we've got, but I'm trying to move the situation and what people are thinking in a way that's favourable to me.
Alright. You guys can now ask questions. You've heard their statements. You should have enough facts to make a final choice. I think my camera. Yeah. So, the final time, it's time to vote. Remember, you are voting for a winner, not the person you want out. So, like, name the person you want to win the Idol, Soul Survivor, and $100. Rihanna, you're up. Final time. Count votes. Alright, final time. 3 minutes. Vivian. Tom. Tom. Vivian. It's 2 votes Vivian, 2 votes Tom, 3 votes left. Tom. That's 2 votes Vivian, 3 votes Tom, 2 votes left. Winner of Camp Survivor, Tom.